What's up? Like and subscribe to the Mets Way YouTube channel. Welcome to another live reaction edition of the Mets Way. Pete Alonso just became the highest paid first baseman in arbitration history. $14.5 million, breaks a record. As I just said, becoming the highest paid first baseman in arbitration history. Pretty big deal. You know what this means? This leads me to believe that Pete Alonso is going to get his extension sooner rather than later. $14.5 million. That's a pretty hefty deal. Highest arbitration deal for a first baseman in history. It's, as I just mentioned just a second ago, I really think this means Pete Alonso is going to be getting an extension sooner rather than later. For the people listening right now, first off, I want to say shout out, thank you, drop a comment what you think Pete Alonso means for this franchise, and do you think the Mets should offer him an extension soon and cut out with this bull crap arbitration? Because at the end of the day, he's worth more than $14.5 million. Let's be real. He's just led the league in RBIs, tied with Aaron Judge at the top. Home runs, another 40 home run season for him. That's three now on his three 40 home run seasons from him, and he's only been in the league for what, 4 years? The guy breaks the rookie home run record with 53, and you heard what Lindor said about him. He sees a Judge-like season. Now, is Pete Alonso going to go out there and hit 60 home runs? No, but I think he can hit 45 plus, definitely 40 plus again this year and for years to come. The biggest question I think with Pete Alonso has been finding that bat to protect him. Yeah, we need someone to protect him in the lineup. It would have been nice to have Correa to protect Pete Alonso, but at the end of the day, Pete Alonso's Pete Alonso. He's still going to show up. He's still going to drive in runs. He's still going to come up clutch in big spots. Let's go over it right now, what Pete Alonso did. What Pete Alonso did in 2022, yeah, his numbers, overall numbers, they were great. He hit above 270, I think, 271, 131 RBIs to lead the league, tied with Aaron Judge, as I just mentioned, 40 home runs. It's remarkable what he's able to do, but with runners in scoring position in 2020-22, he was clutch. There's a lot of Mets fans, a lot of fans in general who want to say that this guy, Pete Alonso, isn't clutch at the plate. It's astronomical why they can think that way. His split stats with runners in scoring position are very good. You just look at it right here. I'm bringing it up right now. With runners in scoring position, Pete Alonso hit 300 this year with runners in scoring position. Had an OPS over 1,000, a slugging percentage of .675 with runners in scoring position. With runners in scoring position and 2 outs, it took a bit of a dip in the batting average, but his slugging percentage, .667. With bases loaded, he's a beast. .364 batting average, 1,000 slugging percentage in 2022. So when there were guys on base, Pete Alonso said, I'm going to get you guys home. And now Pete Alonso is trying to find himself a home. Just signed the largest arbitration deal that any first baseman has ever received in MLB history. Shout out to Pete Alonso. Just wanted to go live for a quick, just to shout him out, because he really is probably the face of this Mets franchise. I know Lindor is a bigger star, a bigger attraction, and so is Scherzer and Verlander. But for Mets fans, Pete Alonso is the guy. He's the guy that's been here, and he's the guy that's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. He just got his $14.5 million. Well, you know what that means. That means that extension's coming, and he deserves it. Because if Nimmo 100% deserved that money, Pete Alonso deserves just as much money. Give him what he wants. Cohen, sign this guy to an extension because his price tag's going to only go up. It's only going to go up, and you don't want a situation where the Yankees found themselves in, where last year at the beginning of the year they undervalued Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge bet on himself, and now look what happened. He gets that 9-year massive $300 million deal from the New York Yankees. And all the Yankees had to do was give him his what he wanted at the beginning of the year, and they would have had him for much cheaper for what they got him at now. The Mets need to avoid that. Give Pete Alonso an extension. This isn't a Pete Alonso extension video. It's shout out to Pete Alonso for breaking another record. Like, he's just a beast. Just a beast. Shout out, though. Got the bag. He's going to be getting paid just like every Met on this roster. He's not compensated enough, in my opinion, so he needs that extension. So go give him more of a bag, Steve Cohen, because he deserves it. But let's go Mets. Like and subscribe to the Mets Way. And Mets Weekly this Wednesday at 8:30. Again, we'll be going live. Going to be also introducing a new Monday show on the Mets Way channel. Monday, Mets Monday at night. I don't know. We're gonna come up with names. And then we're going to come up with a Friday night Mets show, too. Mets on Friday night. We'll call it that. Mets Weekly Wednesday show. We'll still have that. And then Monday, I don't know, Monday Night Mets. Let's call it that. Monday Night Mets. This Monday. Tune in. Hopefully there's another live reaction video this week because we need that other bopper. Maybe a big trade. But that's all it is for today. Pete Alonso, $14.5 million. Drop a comment what you think this means. Anthony Rivera, let's see what you said. Oh, yeah. I think next offseason. Shout out Subway to Shay. Podcast is awesome. If you guys want to check out that podcast, go ahead. Anthony does a great job with the Subway to Shay. Going to try to get him on one of these Mets Weeklies on the Mets Way so you guys can see his Mets takes. He's got a really good Mets mind. One of the better Mets fans in the Mets fan world. But he says, I think next offseason he should definitely get an extension. I'm pretty sure they want to see him. Pretty sure they want to see what happens with Machado and Ohtani in terms of finances. I agree 100%. I mean, I think Ohtani and Machado, everybody would much rather have. But we all know Cohen can afford everybody. He can afford everybody. Money ain't a problem for Steve Cohen. I really hope, though, I know every Mets fan wants Machado, as they should. Every Mets fan wants Ohtani, as they should, if not one, both. But if that means no Pete Alonso, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow. And at the end of the day, they're both better players than Pete Alonso, don't get me wrong. But Pete Alonso's our guy. I would love to see him be a Met for life. They got to lock him up long term. And plus, I feel like if they do it now, I feel like it kind of saves them number because his price tag is only going to drive up. If he hits another 40-plus home run season, he solidifies himself as an elite power hitter year in and year out because not only is he's putting up numbers, he's playing every single game for the New York Mets. I mean, I'm not sure how many games he played to be exact, but I know Lindor had 161. I'm pretty sure Alonso was right up there with Francisco Lindor with the amount of games he played. He's durable, and I think that's something that Mets fans are kind of underappreciative at moments of Pete Alonso. And I think New York baseball in general kind of underappreciates the guy, like the type of player that Pete Alonso is. Because I get it. Pete Alonso ain't no Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, obviously, probably the best hitter in all of baseball. But Pete Alonso is a top 10, top 15 hitter. Definitely top 15. I can make an argument he's a top 10 hitter. I really could. I mean, rookie year hit 53 home runs. 2021, 37 home runs. 40 home runs in 2022. And then his one COVID year, 16 home runs. He's a beast. 120 RBIs in his rookie year, 131 RBIs in his fourth year. Like, we got to keep in mind, this guy's only 28 years old. He's entering his fifth season, just finished 8th in MVP voting. I think Pete Alonso, this is a big year for him coming up. I think this year he really increases that. He's going to increase that price tag 100%. It's only going to go up from here. So if they can lock him up sooner rather than later, plus a 10-year deal for Pete Alonso right now, that would make him finish his contract at 30. You give him that 12-year deal you were going to give Correa, he'd finish it at 40 years old. So I feel like you lock him up now, you can get him to finish that contract before he turns 40. I'm really hoping, though, that a Pete Alonso extension doesn't mean that Cohen will be out on the Ohtanis and the Machados. Well, really just on both. I'm not going to say the Ohtanis and Machados because there's not Ohtanis and Machados. There's an Ohtani and there's a Machado. They're one of one. I wonder what Mets fans would rather, though. Would you rather Machado or Ohtani? I think that's a good topic. If you had to choose between one, that's definitely a good debate for Mets fans to have if you had to have one. But I think it also means, like, Anthony brought up a good point, though. Like, I'm sure they do want to see what happens with Machado and Ohtani in terms of finances next offseason. But does that mean no Alonso if we get him? Do Mets fans think that? What do Mets fans think? Drop a comment there. If we get Ohtani and Machado, does that mean no Pete Alonso? Because if that's what it means, then I don't know if I'd be willing to sign up for it. And I know they're 10 times better of the players than Alonso, but also I don't think that's going to happen because, like I just mentioned before, money ain't a problem for Steve Cohen. Not at all. But that's it. I'm going to wrap this video up. Like, subscribe. Shout out to all the listeners who listened today. Shout out to Pete Alonso, too, because another record that he just broke. Hopefully he can get another 40-plus home run season. He's worth more than $14.5 million. Shout out again, Pete. Let's go, Mets. LFGM. Like and subscribe. Peace.